Hey, Walter Sorrells back with more tips for the knife maker. Today, reviewing a fantastic new knife making book. So I get a lot of emails from guys who want to make katanas and two-handed swords and stuff like that. You know, they've never made a knife before and now they want to make Excalibur right out of the box. Now the truth is that you have to walk before you crawl in pretty much any craft. You don't say, I'm going to, learn to throw a curveball today and then next week I'm going to go get a job as a starting pitcher for the Dodgers. Just doesn't work that way. So in that spirit, I'm going to review this book right here, Knives You Can Make by Tim McCreight. The first knife making book that I ever bought was by McCreight. This is going on 2 decades ago. It was just a really, really valuable book to me. Now, several decades later, he's got a new knife making book, and the title of the book says it all, Knives You Can Make. Now, if you've watched my videos, you'll know that a lot of what I demonstrate is kind of aspirational, meaning that, these aren't projects that you can make the very first time that you dip your toe into knife making. It's really not uncommon for me to show mills and, my CNC machine here and metal lathes and fancy grinders and blah, 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 which is fine. But there's also an important place for showing how to get started in a normally equipped backyard shop. And that's where this book really shines. Knives You Can Make isn't trying to teach you how to make Excalibur. It's intended to teach you real skills and to show you how to make real knives using very simple tools. Excalibur, that's up to you. So, what's in the book? Basically just a really nice spectrum of knife making projects. The focus is not on fancy, ornamental, or complex knives. Instead, it's on useful, real-world knives. Knives that you can make. Kitchen knives, utility knives, some simple folders. There's really a wide range of projects here. McCreight starts with this incredibly simple knife, then moves on to a simple wood carving knife, and eventually you end up in the world of folders. If you've watched a lot of videos, mine included, you might get the impression that you can't make knives without a belt grinder, a mill, a forge, heat treating oven, all that sort of thing. As this book will demonstrate, nothing could be further from the truth. At every step, you're accumulating knowledge about the materials and tools you use, along with skills and techniques that help you get the most out of those materials, without using big money gear. The book begins with a discussion of the tools you'll need. There aren't many of them, and they aren't expensive. After a brief discussion of sharpening, it's on to the projects. The illustrations are simple and clear. The projects are broken down into numbered tasks, so if you need to do the project over a couple weekends or evenings, you always know where you are in the process. Here's a good example. It's a simple camp knife. Blade, heat treating, guard, handle. Material costs somewhere in the range of dinner for one at Red Lobster. Tools, hacksaw, file, sandpaper, hammer, and a torch. The end result, something you can take right out to the deer blind and put to work. Heat treating is a subject of much mystification in knife making, for good reason, because it is legitimately complicated. But McCreight shows several simple, cheap methods that will nevertheless work great, with clear explanation of what you're doing and why. After showing a camp knife, a paring knife, and a couple of chef's knives, he turns to folders. Again, you can get lost in the weeds of folder world thinking you need a CNC machine and a Bridgeport, just to get started. You don't. McCreight starts with the simplest primitive folder before moving on to some friction folders and locking blade knives. At every turn, he keeps things simple and clear. No katanas, no canister Damascus, no milled out cavities or titanium parts turned on an industrial lathe. There's a place for that, but not in a book for beginners. Like the title says, these are knives you can make. So are you just getting started with knife making? Maybe looking for a father-son project or something to keep you occupied on weekends? You just retired, whatever. And you'd like a friendly, clear, simple guide to help you get there, this is the book that I'd recommend. Knives You Can Make is available directly from brynmorgan.com as well as from Blade Magazine's e-commerce site. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like what we're doing here, please subscribe and make sure that you click on that bell so you get notified of all the latest videos. Want to buy a knife from me? Check out my modern blades at tacticsarmory.com. Digging the channel? You can support our video making efforts on Patreon. You know, I've been banging away on these videos for like 10 years, so I hope you'll show some love for all that hard work. Link in the cards and descriptions. Finally, if you're interested in making Japanese swords, check out my full line of Japanese sword videos where I show how to forge Japanese swords as well as how to polish them and how to make fittings, handles, and scabbards. WalterSorrellsBlades.com.